Welcome to the TxPROS tutorial, navigating through the vehicle and load information page in TxPROS. This video was produced by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, Motor Carrier Division for users of the Texas Permitting and Routing Optimization System, also known as TxPROS. While processing a permit application in TxPROS, you will come to the Vehicle and Load Information page. This page is used to enter details about the truck, a description of the load, and the load's dimensions. At the top of the page, you will see the company name associated with the account you are currently signed into. Clicking the company name will open the company data page. For more information on this page, refer to the tutorial titled Navigating Through the Company Data page in TxPROS. To enter vehicle information, you have a few options. To select a power unit from your saved vehicle inventory, use the drop-down menu under Vehicle Inventory and choose the appropriate vehicle. TxPROS will automatically fill in the previously saved details. We recommend verifying this information for accuracy. If you make any changes to the pre-filled data on the application, those updates will only apply to the current permit. To make permanent updates for future use, go to the company data page and update the vehicle information there. If the vehicle has not been saved in your inventory, you will need to manually enter all required details, including the unit/rig number. Once everything is entered and you click Next, a dialog box will appear asking if you would like to save the vehicle to your inventory. To add trailer information, click the blue plus sign button under Add Trailer. This opens a new row where you can enter trailer details, following the same process as for the power unit. Trailer information is only required for certain permit types, such as trailer-mounted units. Since no trailer is needed for this permit, we will click the red X to the left to delete the trailer row. Use the drop-down menu under Industry to select the appropriate industry for the load being transported. In this example, we will select General Construction. Enter a specific load description for the load being transported. For example, do not enter machinery or oil field equipment. Instead, you would enter D8 dozer or mud pump. The next section asks you to confirm whether the load is a single item or multiple items. If the load cannot be divided or broken down, select the first option. If the load consists of multiple pieces that can be legally hauled without creating an additional overdimension, select the second option. When choosing the multiple items option, you must also specify how the items are loaded on the trailer. Options include stacked, side-by-side, end-to-end, and more. Please note, when the multiple items option is selected, TxPROS will not allow you to enter weight since the load must be within legal limits. Also, certain dimensions will be restricted to legal maximums based on the selected loading method and only allow the legal dimension to be entered. For example, if you select stacked, TxPROS will not allow you to enter a height above 14 feet, which is the legal maximum in Texas. In this example, we are hauling a D8 dozer, so we will select the first option, indicating a single, non-divisible load. In the Load Parameters section, you will enter the dimensions of the vehicle and load. Total width is measured from the outside edges of the widest part of the load, not including safety devices such as mirrors or flags. Total height is the measurement from the road surface to the highest point of the vehicle or load. Total length includes the entire length from the front extension of the truck or load to the rear extension of the trailer or load, including any overhangs. Trailer length is measured from the front of the trailer, excluding the trailer tongue, to its rearmost extended point. Total front overhang refers to the portion of the load that extends beyond the front bumper of the vehicle, while total rear overhang is the part of the load that extends beyond the rear bumper of a single vehicle or the rear of the trailer. Total weight refers to the gross vehicle weight, which includes the combined weight of the truck, trailer, and load. By default, total weight is set to legal, meaning all axle weights must comply with legal limits and the gross vehicle weight cannot exceed 80,000 pounds. If your load exceeds legal weight, select Enter Weights to open the Set Axle Weights dialog box. First, enter the number of axles your truck and trailer combination has. For this example, we will enter 5. Then, click on the first spacing box and begin entering the axle spacing in feet, measured from the center of the axle hub to the center of the next. In our example, we will enter 16, 4, 32, and 4 for the axle spacings. Under the weight column, input the weight supported by each axle. We will enter 14,000 pounds on the first axle and 23,000 pounds for axles 2 through 5. The final column is for the number of tires on each axle. The entries are pre-populated for a standard truck and trailer configuration, which typically includes 2 tires on the steer axle and 4 tires on each of the remaining axles. Under the tread width column, enter the actual width of the tire tread that makes contact with the road surface. This value can be entered in either inches or millimeters, and the system will automatically convert and populate the corresponding field. While default values are provided for a typical setup, you can adjust any of the information in the tires and tread width columns as needed to accurately reflect your vehicle's configuration. For more information about gauge, lane, steerable, or maximum permittable weights, please contact TxDMV at 1-800-299-1700. To view a visual representation of the vehicle and load, select either side or top view, then click Display Configuration. If the display looks correct, click Close to exit the window. If you need to clear all entered axle information and reset the load to legal weight, click Cancel. When ready, click Validate Weights and Close to verify the entered information and return to the vehicle and load information page. If any axle exceeds the maximum permittable weight, TxPROS will display a dialog box identifying the axle or axles that do not validate. Once validated, the total gross vehicle weight will appear in the total weight entry box. Next, we will enter the underclearance. If you skip this section by clicking Next, TxPROS will automatically route the load around all underclearance restrictions to prevent the vehicle from becoming stuck or high-centered at areas such as steep railroad crossings. When this section is skipped, the ground clearance will appear as not applicable on the permit PDF. To enter your actual underclearance and allow TxPROS to route only around restrictions that apply to your specific vehicle or combination, check the box labeled I wish to be routed using actual underclearance. A dialog box will appear with guidance on how to measure underclearance properly for both single vehicles and vehicle combinations. After reviewing the message, click OK, and enter the actual underclearance in inches. The field will accept a value between 2 and 48 inches. If a value outside this range is entered, TxPROS will display an error message and prompt you to hover over the help icon for instructions. If you enter a value between 2 and 17 inches, that number will display exactly as entered on the permit PDF. For any entry between 18 and 48 inches, the permit PDF will display minimum 18 inches. In this example, we will enter 12 inches, meaning TxPROS will route this load across any underclearance restriction that requires no less than 12 inches. It will not allow routing across a restriction requiring 18 inches, as that could pose a safety risk. When you are ready to proceed, click Next to move to the routing screen. For more information on the Add Power Unit and Add New Load options, please refer to the tutorial titled Issuing Multiple Permits in a Single General Permit Application in TxPROS. If you have questions about any of the fields on this screen, hover over the blue question mark icons for helpful explanations. Once all required information has been entered, click Next to continue. The dialog box mentioned earlier will appear, asking if you would like to add the vehicle to your inventory. Click OK to save the vehicle for future use or select Cancel if you do not want it added to the vehicle inventory list. This concludes the tutorial on navigating through the vehicle and load information page in TxPROS. For additional information and more tutorial videos, visit the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles website at www.txdmv.gov and enter the keyword TxPROS.